I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Good afternoon and welcome to Camnet TV Midday News. The headlines. The NDC claims the UPND has failed in the last 6 months as MWEETWA defends the progress made this far. Vice President MUTALE NALUMANGO reaffirms government's commitment to empower youths. Join me with the details after this commercial.
The trajectory of the business looks very positive, and it looks like we'll be able to launch the ministry.
There's so much data.
Mom?
Yes, baby?
It says here, global warming and climate change is caused by the pollution from careless activities of human beings.
Wow!
Son, do you know I can turn my phone into a TV remote?
How's that possible?
It's so easy. Check this out.
Be smart, be fast with mega data from Zamtel. Get your 15 GB mobile data for only 100 kwacha, 30 GB mobile data for only 200 kwacha, and your 70 GB LTE data bundle with free Netflix, YouTube, Facebook, and WhatsApp. Visit our Facebook page, website, or service centers countrywide for more information. Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
On Monday, 14th March 2022, on National Matters, join Pastor Moses Chilwa as he hosts the Mines Minister, Honorable Paul Kaboswe.
We want to be cleared of the allegations that have been thrown around that the Ministry of Mines has been mishandling the issuance of the mining licenses. Of course, we have inherited a system. I must say that we inherited a system that was, I'll use a very bad word, the system was rotting.
At exactly 20:45 hours, as they discuss mining sector in Zambia, what is the way forward?
Any license that will have been issued in this period will be null and void.
Invite others to participate through phoning, on Skype, Zoom, WhatsApp and text messages. Make a date with us. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
And other media news in detail. Government says it has developed a graduate empowerment program which will see to it that graduating students are paired and empowered with working capital. Minister of Youth, Sports and Arts Elvis Nkandu, who spoke at the National Youth Indawa being held in Lusaka, says the empowerment program will allow graduates, especially those at skills training institutions, start their own businesses immediately after completing their studies. And Vice President MUTALE NALUMANGO, who represented President Hakainde Hichilema, says government is in the process of developing a national youth development strategy that will provide further guidance towards the fulfillment of the policy objective of youth empowerment and employment in Zambia.
Thousands of youths across the country Thursday gathered at the Mulungushi International Conference Center in Lusaka, where they hoped to interact with the President of the Republic of Zambia, Hakainde Hichilema, at the Youth Indaba in commemoration of the Youth Day, which falls on 12th March of every year. The 2022 Youth Day celebration is being held under the theme Enhancing Youth Participation at All Levels of National Development. The youths who have been drawn from across the country use the platform to express some of the challenges they are facing in these hard times.
To the challenges that young disabled people face in their journey, in their academic journeys, rather, from lack of support in their communities, including their own families, to the lack of learning material and inaccessible infrastructure in learning institutions.
It will not be people above the age of 35.
Criteria for those who get access to funds. So I believe that it should really be on merit. And I like to thank the government for the strides they're making and making sure that the right people and those who are going to get access to those funds.
And Minister of Youth, Sports and Art Elvis Nkandu says government has introduced a graduate empowerment program which will see to it that graduating students are paired and empowered with working capital.
On your day of graduation, we'll group you in cooperatives, 5, 10, so that we give you equipment before graduation. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, 80 years, 90 years, 100 years, 150 years, 200 years, 300 years, 400 years, 500 years, 600 years, 700 years, 800 years, 900 years, 1000 years, 1100 years, 1200 years, 1300 years, 1400 years, 1500 years, 1600 years, 1700 years, 1800 years, 1900 years, 2000 years, 2100 years, 2200 years, 2300 years, 2400 years, 2500 years, 2600 years, 2700 years, 2800 years, 2900 years, 3000 years, 4000 years, 5000 years, 6000 years, 7000 years, 8000 years, 9000 years, 100 years, 150 years, 200 years, 300 years, 400 years, 5 And we also give you a working capital so that you go and establish yourselves by putting up workshops, and obviously that improve your livelihoods.
And Vice President MUTALE NALUMANGO says government is in the process of developing a national youth development strategy that will provide further guidance towards the fulfillment of the policy objective of youth empowerment and employment in Zambia.
We are stepping up collaborative engagements with various developmental partners, including youth, to revise the existing national youth policy of 2015 and its implementation plan, so that the policy actively reflects our socio-economic transformation agenda of having a united and prosperous Zambia.
The Vice President has since challenged youths in the country to become proactive and become game changers in their communities.
It's not a social gathering. This is a serious gathering where you must go out carrying something to the other youth left in Kalabo and help them, encourage them that they can make a change and they will make a change.
The event was not short of entertainment from the Chinese community. Prudence Jota reporting for Camnet TV News.
Concerned Citizen for Justice and Human Rights Executive Director Richard Nkua has noted with concern that the high levels of poverty is a significant driver of child marriages in Zambia, with parents perceiving marriage as an economic gain for the household and possible measure to support other children. Speaking during an awareness campaign against early marriages and gender-based violence in Mazabuka's Kalea village, Mr. Nkua urged parents to desist from such acts and help government in the fight against the vice. Meanwhile, the organization assistant program manager Nalukwemsaiteli advised parents to respect their children's rights and not force them into getting married.
National and international communities are increasingly recognizing child marriage as a serious problem, both as a violation of girls' human rights and as an hindrance to key development outcomes. As more program, policy, donor and advocacy constituencies pledge commitment, resources and action to address this problem, it becomes important to examine past efforts and how well they have worked. Finding more solutions to address child marriage has continued to be a talk of the day. The Concerned Citizen for Justice and Human Rights organization held an awareness campaign against early marriages and gender-based violence in Mazabuka, Kalea village. The organization director, Richard Nkua, also disclosed that the organization has so far retrieved 145 girls from early marriages countrywide.
We have retrieved 37 sexually abused children to police. Out of those 37, we have managed these other cases that have already been prosecuted from this area. They have been prosecuted, and it's a sad story for me. Chiniwa kwaine kupezeka makeses out of this number that I've mentioned. Wamene bashitavaso ni ma-uncles na wasitate wao wagona bana bali wao.
Approximately a lot of families only are forced to live on $1 per day. That is an exposure to sell their children in order for them to get rid of their debts.
Majority of residents took interest to participate and see how best the situation can be addressed. Some residents noted that the issue of bars in the area has contributed to early marriages among young girls.
As parents, we need also to take time. Let us check on our children. All right? It's very important. I thank God that she has brought that very issue herself when she started. The next day will be in school. Let it be a habit as you have come here. I'll be happy next time that the next time you come, you should be hearing reports from these parents that we are seeing what change. And
The village headmen in the area also added their voices.
Bonenga umuntu otongoga anubambirwa bumi bubotu alimwe amwana ibumi bubotu so inga hinji twayibona ikwati mwana wo twakali mwonto bona jindi yonto yahwanganda no okutaga yeye museso ojigolo tatimwe
ino hatu beso amukonke traditional council traditional council ambire bamahima buba tomara babane besu mwapanga de yakuti tuite bana besu tubayihe yimwe yintu seri azati mwere de kubayihe abana besu katunasira tubayihe.
Just few days ago, President Hakainde Hichilema called on traditional leaders and the church to help government in the fight to end child marriage and address the issue of gender-based violence. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
In other news, National Democratic Congress leader Savoy Imboela has echoed the sentiments of other opposition political party leaders, suggesting that the United Party for National Development has not set the right tone to steer the country's development. However, recently, President Hakainde Hichilema said the UPND was only months in executing the 2022 national budget, hence it would be illogical to comprehensively judge them based on that. Speaking when featured on the Camnet breakfast, Ms. Imboela believes that the UPND has been talking without action to demonstrate where the country is going. Meanwhile, Ms. Imboela has charged that the gender agenda, especially when it comes to safeguarding the plight of women, is likely to fail under the UPND administration due to poor coordination.
The Zambian political landscape has been preoccupied with what the United Party for National Development government has achieved after 6 months in office. Divergent views have emerged from various stakeholders. Many think so far the opposite has been done when it comes to ensuring that Zambians have 3 meals per day, more jobs, cheaper fuel, and lower inflation, among other major pronouncements. Recently, President Hakainde Hichilema reminded government critics that it was too early to pass a comprehensive judgment on his administration, considering that it was only 2 months in the implementation of the 2022 national budget. He has been citing the score regarding the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, and the free education policy among the major first steps of his government.
We took a decision, a very dramatic decision against views of many, that it was not possible to deliver free education. This is only our 2nd month into the UPND budget, and we've delivered free education from grade 1 up to grade 4.
National Democratic Congress leader Savoy Imboela claims that the UPND has not set the right tone to steer the country's development.
So the 12 months, or rather 6 months of the UPND in office is very, very disappointing. And the only thing they have is time on their side. They do, this is 2022, they do have a bit more time. So if they do things right, trust me, they can turn around things.
Speaking when she featured on the Camnet breakfast, Ms. Imboela believes that the UPND has been talking without action to demonstrate where the country is going.
At the moment, there's certain things that even as opposition, and somebody says, okay, this one is good at this, one is good at that. So at least even when they fail at this, they'll be good at that. If there's one thing that some of us even also believed in, despite us not being UPND, is the issue of the economy. We said, okay, this is an economist, he's a good businessman. They say he's the richest man in Zambia. So he may fail at everything else, but I'm sure he'll sort out the economy. You get the point?
They say.
Yeah, they say. Exactly. No, we don't see his money, we just hear it. We hear about it. You get the point? So at the end of the day, if really he was that great economist, a great businessman, there are certain things we would have wanted to start seeing in the country. And we are not seeing that at all. So that is very, very disappointing to say.
Meanwhile, Ms. Imboela alleges that the gender agenda, especially when it comes to women issues, is likely to fail under the UPND administration due to poor administration.
No, it hasn't been scrapped off, it has been put under the president's office. Then they change, it's under the vice president's office. Then they change and they say it again, it's under the president's office. And the president even made a statement to say, because I love women so much, I've put their ministry under my office. You get the point? If really it's existing, where is a minister of gender? You get the point? Because with the ministers, they have cabinet meetings where every time they report, you know, there are those weekly meetings where they talk about their ministries. So who talks to us as women in this country? You know, when they have those cabinet meetings? Nobody, because there's no minister of gender. So the UPND has not shown political will, sadly. You know, the scrapping off of the ministry is one of those things that they did, which is so bad. So we're commemorating Women's Day without a minister. We had 16 days of activism against GBV in December. Yet again, we did that.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
The Cross-Border Network Africa is working at ensuring that aggregation centers are built in all districts of the country where onion and garlic farmers will be allowed to sell their produce. Speaking during the launch of an outgrower scheme of onion and garlic in Lusaka, Association Executive Director Bernard Sikunyongana says the aggregation centers will allow onions to be well sorted and packed for both the Zambian and international markets. And Mr. Sikunyongana has charged that the importation of onion and potatoes has continued in the country despite government imposing restriction. Meanwhile, food value chain expert Wesley Litava says the country has the capacity to produce organic foods which can compete favorably on the international market.
While the debate surrounding the restrictions on the importation of onion and potatoes in the country has continued to linger on, the Cross-Border Network Africa, working with the Farmers Union, have started devising plans that will offer solution to the shortage of onions in the country. This has resulted in the launch of an outgrower scheme of onion and garlic, which is aimed at training farmers in the country in onion and garlic production, which will later be bought from the farmers and sorted out at various aggregation centers that will be built across the country.
That aggregation center, its purpose is one, it will be handling all the production in that area. For example, it's one aggregation center is handling 800 farmers. So meaning all what they will produce will come to that aggregation center. And the manager will be managing that aggregation center. And meaning they will take stocks, package the onion, grade it, package it with a branded pockets, and then it goes to the market. So that will be the work of the aggregation center.
And Mr. Sikunyongana has expressed disappointment at the fact that onion and potatoes are still being imported in the country despite the government issuing a restriction.
Minister of Agriculture, please, Tuapapata, stop issuing permits, or else we need an explanation why you have continued allowing the importation. ZRIA, why are you allowing trucks when there's a ban? We do not want an excuse to say maybe somebody got 100 permits. No, it ceases immediately.
Meanwhile, food value chain expert Wesley Litava says the country has the capacity to produce organic foods which can compete favorably on the international market.
So one of the things that we are now saying is, fine, the government of the day has put in so much money in CDF. Is it possible to extend beyond education and infrastructure and look at what the immediate needs for the farmers are? The immediate things that they need is to improve production.
And the Farmers Union has supported the launch of the onion and garlic outgrower scheme, which will contribute to forex earning if the produce are imported to other neighboring countries such as Congo and Angola, whose market Zambia has failed to satisfy.
Import permits have continued to be issued because whatever the case, if as a country we come up with a resolution and say stop, we stop. Otherwise, we are distorting things on the ground. We are distorting prices on the ground. We are distorting production on the ground, and this is unfair to the local market.
Prudence Chota reporting for Camnet TV News.
The NDC claims that the UPND has failed in the last 6 months as MWEETWA defends the progress made thus far. Vice President MUTALE NALUMANGO reaffirms government's commitment to empower youths. Those were the headlines. Thank you for watching. Good afternoon.